Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today with a really big idea, something that comes from a 1989 lecture, and it completely flips the script on what we think self-realization is. What if everything we've been told about success is wrong? What if it's not the goal at all, but actually a trap?
So, let's just dive right in. I want you to think about a belief that's pretty much everywhere you look, the idea that success is the finish line, the thing we should all be chasing. You know how it goes, right? We're told to build this fortress of a self. You achieve your goals, you build up a solid reputation, you become totally unshakable. But here's the question. Is that fortress really protecting you? Or is it maybe a prison?
Well, the speaker in this lecture offers a completely different take. They look at the people we hold up as successful, and they don't see freedom at all. Instead, they see a heart that's trapped. Trapped inside something hard, something totally unyielding. That success, that big, solid ego, it's not liberation. It's the exact opposite. It's a prison.
Okay, so if becoming a block of concrete isn't the answer, then what is? What should we be aiming for? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because the speaker proposes something beautiful, and honestly, pretty radical.
And you can really see the two paths laid out here. On one hand, you've got the path we all know. Build up that solid, strong self. But on the other hand, there's this wild new idea. Instead of building yourself up, what if the goal was to dissolve the self, to become a totally transparent channel for something else?
And this is the core of it. The ultimate goal isn't to get more solid, more defined. It's to become infinitely transparent. Think about it. To be like the wind, a pure, selfless channel for a love from a higher dimension to just flow through you and out into the world, completely uncolored by your own ego.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds very new age, right? But what's fascinating is that the speaker says, no. This idea has roots that go way, way back, thousands of years actually, to some really ancient wisdom. We're talking about going back 4,300 years to ancient Greece and a figure named Hermes. And he wasn't just some messenger for the gods. He was a teacher. And he laid the foundation for this whole philosophy with two absolutely central ideas, love and development.
And those two concepts, love and development, they're not just some old ideas. They actually form the bookends of what the speaker calls the modern fourfold path. So let's really dig in and see what they mean by this. All right, so first up, love. When Hermes and our speaker talk about love, what are they actually talking about? Because it's definitely not the passive hearts and flowers idea we're used to.
See, in this way of thinking, love isn't a feeling you have, it's something you do. It's an action. It's about looking at another person, seeing that unlit candle in their heart, and helping to light it. It's about awakening that divine spark that's already inside them.
And this right here is so important. You can't own this kind of love. You just can't. Trying to possess it, to hold on to it, it's like trying to grab a handful of wind, or trying to bottle up the sunlight reflecting on the sea. It just slips right through your fingers. The speaker describes it as a chain of light, and the only reason it exists at all is because it's constantly moving. It has to be passed from one person to the next and on to the next. The second you try to stop that flow, to say, this is mine, that's it. You've broken the chain. It's really that simple, but also incredibly profound. Love is a current. It's a flow, and if that flow stops, it dies. It's not love anymore. Its very essence is just gone. Okay, so that's love. Now let's bring in that second key concept from Hermes, development. How on earth does that fit in with this idea of a selfless, constantly moving love?
I mean, why do we bother to develop ourselves? Why build up organizations or societies? Well, according to this teaching, there's only one real reason: to supply more love, to increase our ability to give it. Any kind of growth that's just for the sake of getting bigger, it's totally empty.
And that love, it has to be pure. The speaker uses this great metaphor. It has to be a wind without sand and dust. So what's the sand and dust? It's our ego, right? It's that desire for recognition, that need for someone to say thank you, that urge to show off how great we are. Real love, true love, is a wind that just blows through without leaving any of that grime, any trace of self behind.
So the point here is incredibly powerful. Development that isn't driven by love isn't just pointless. It's destructive. It's a ruin. It's like building this giant, impressive structure with absolutely nothing inside.
And all of this leads us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most profound and challenging part of this entire teaching.
So after everything we've talked about, becoming this transparent wind, serving a love that's bigger than us, developing ourselves only to give more, what's the end game? Where's the finish line? What does ultimate self-realization actually look like when you get there?
And this is where the speaker drops the big one, the beautiful paradox that's at the very heart of this idea. Ready? There is no finish line. There's no final destination. Ultimate self-realization has no ultimate. The logic is just, wow. It goes like this. We are kept alive by a love that is so much greater than us, and the only possible way to repay an infinite gift is with an infinite act of giving. So our whole purpose for our entire lives and even beyond is just to keep acting as that wind, to keep giving that love.
So in the end, what is ultimate self-realization? It's not a place you arrive at. It's not a trophy you get. It's the process itself. It's something you become. The goal isn't to arrive at the destination. The goal is to become the wind. It really leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What would our world even look like if more of us tried to be that?